Hey guys, welcome to another declutter. This is going to be the first of an entire declutter series that I'm going to be doing hopefully the end of December, beginning of January, because I'm trying to clear out this collection for the new year so I can do a nice collection video for you guys. So we're going to be starting my declutter series with the worst drawer. The worst drawer in my collection by far is my blush and bronzer drawer. So this is pretty bad. I wish I had enough space for a separate blush drawer and then bronzer drawer, but I don't. So that's why this is so bad. So my main goal, as with most declutters, is going to be to get rid of makeup I don't use, makeup that's expired, super old, crusty, you know, doesn't perform anymore. So I'm not positive about how I want to do this. I think I'm going to take all of the makeup out and then put only what I actually will use back into the drawer. So first up, I'm going to empty this drawer, probably put everything scattered on my floor. I have like a bag that I'm going to put the makeup that I'm discarding into. And yeah, this is going to be a rough one, so bear with me. Okay, so here's the mess we're working with. I have everything laid out on the floor and I cleaned everything inside the drawer. All the acrylic is sanitized and I don't have a lot of like bougie acrylic organizers. I just have some like from the dollar store, some good ones that I like to put my favorite items in, but for the most part, it's kind of disorganized when it comes to the acrylic. I probably could buy organizers that are meant for these drawers, but this is what we're working with for today, so hopefully I can make it work. So I think I'm actually going to move these around. So first off, my technique is going to be to put in the products I know I'm not getting rid of, so some of my favorites or more expensive, pricey items. So I know I'm keeping the Chanel Tan de Chanel. This is my only Chanel product in my collection. So that's going front and center. I also always reach for this Fenty bronzer. This is my Sunstalker bronzer in the shade Into Sun. So this I think I'm going to put in my good organizer, I call it, right in the front where I know I'm going to use it. I also have this Hourglass Ambient bronzer in Diffuse Bronze Light. This is a really beautiful kind of high-end product, so I'm going to put it in there as well. It doesn't fit amazing, so I think I'm going to put it in the back. This is one of my favorite bronzers of all time. It's the Laura Mercier Matte Bronze 03. The Tarte Park Avenue Princess Bronzer is another that I reach for all the time. This is the Jouer Medium Bronzer Duo. It's one of my favorites, so it's also going to go in there. Now we have to declutter as we go along because I'm going to be picking up products that I know I want to get rid of. So I do have 3 of the Huda Beauty Tan Tours. These are the cream bronzers, so I'm going to try to keep my creams up here. I am a big fan of cream lately. So I definitely don't want to keep tan and rich because these are super, super dark. And unfortunately, these are a couple years old, so they are probably expired. I should have donated them, but I ended up swatching them for a review. So I don't donate things that I touch. It's just not hygienic. I ended up keeping them in case I had a purpose for them, and they didn't end up having a purpose. So these are both way too dark. Very sad, but I need to get rid of them. And I've definitely used and abused the shade Light. I'm gonna keep this for now. I use this in my full face of Huda Beauty. It still works. It's just pretty old. These are Morphe Blush and Bronzer Duos. I used these when they were new, but now they are a few years, I want to say 2 or 3 years old. Actually, you know what? This needs to be Savage. I'm not going to reach for these, so I'm getting rid of these Morphe ones. I have a few palettes that I need to get rid of too. This Beauty Junkies one is probably over 3 years old. It was a really good dupe for Kat Von D back in the day. I did get my use out of it, but it is expired now. I also have these Morphe palettes. I used them a little bit. They were okay, but they definitely aren't better than some of the ones in my collection, so I'm gonna get rid of these because I have alternatives. I have 2 of these Kevyn Aucoin bronzer books and they're literally the same. So one of them is a few years old and one of them is brand new, so I'm gonna get rid of the one that is a few years old if I can figure out which one that is. And for now, I'm gonna have to set the palettes in the back of the drawer, but I really am not sure how I'm gonna organize these yet. These 2 palettes, I loved both of them equally. The NYX one was so amazing. I might repurchase the NYX one and just have a new one. This is expired. It's over 3 years old and I never reach for it anymore just because of its age, but it was so, so good. I might pick up a backup. And then the Lorac Pro was also really good. I got my use out of this one, and this one is definitely expired too. This is iconic. This was my favorite bronzer palette. This was like my first contour palette ever. It's so beyond expired, and if I really, really like it that much, I should just repurchase the new one. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. Oh my god, probably 5 years old now, so this is gotta go. I don't want to let it go, but I have to. This one's a little bit newer. This is my Park Ave Princess palette from Tarte. It's not my all-time favorite, but I like using it. I like the packaging. I will keep this guy. Not sure how I want to organize this yet. We have this new iconic London face palette. I just got it in BOXYCHARM. I still need to use it, so I'm definitely keeping this. And then I have the Sigma Sculpt palette, which I think I'm gonna keep. These are the Makeup Revolution Patricia Bright palettes. I have to be perfectly honest, I'm just not a fan of the tin packaging. Like, I never reach for it because of that. I really don't know why, but I'm just not a massive fan, so I'm gonna let these go. These are the Kaleidos Charisma Contour palettes. Both of these I really like. We have the Cool and Light and Warm and Medium, so I'm gonna keep both. I'm really not sure where I'm gonna put all of these. Like, I think I'm gonna run out of space really, really quickly in here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to just do creams in this container, so I'm gonna start just integrating these. Now we have lots and lots of drugstore favorites coming, so I really need to narrow them down to the ones that I'm gonna use the most. So I have some Wet n Wild ones here. I think I'm gonna keep the Sunset Striptease and Ticket to Brazil when it comes to these Wet n Wilds, and I'm gonna get rid of the shimmery Palm Beach Ready and the deeper What Shady Beach, because that's like a little too deep for me. For now, we're just gonna lay them in there. I'm keeping the Coconut Bronzer from ColourPop. Now I have a wide selection from MAC. This is gonna be really difficult if I get rid of any of these, just because I like to collect MAC products, but let me see. We have the MAC Patrick Star. This one looks a little bit warm. We have Totally Taupeless from the Bronze collection. This one looks like a little bit better of a shade. There is Beijing Beauty from the Bronze collection. This is definitely more my shade. We have another special collection. This one is Canyon Dreaming and Sun Soaked Strip. This looks like a good one for me too. I'm gonna donate this one because it looks like I haven't touched it. And I'm going to keep the Beijing Beauty, and I'm gonna get rid of Totally Taupeless. Now I have a bunch of the Too Faced bronzers. Let's see, we have Chocolate Soleil, which I'm gonna keep Chocolate Soleil. That's like a classic bronzer. I love this bronzer. I think I'm getting rid of the Patrick Star one because it's too warm for me. I'm gonna donate Sun Bunny because I haven't touched it. I am going to keep Snow Bunny because it's a little bit nostalgic to me. And I'm gonna keep Dark Chocolate Soleil as well. I'm gonna get rid of the Benefit Hula Caramel because it's a little bit too warm for me. I do prefer the original. I have 3 of these The Balm bronzers. I'm just gonna keep the middle tone one. These are 2 of my favorite drugstore bronzers. We have the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula and the e.l.f. Primer Infused. This is in the shade Forever Sunkissed. Both of these are really, really good. I have to keep them both. I really like the Benefit Cream Stick. I have the Hula one. This one's old, this one's new, so I'm just gonna open the new one and throw away the old one, and I will keep this cream stick towards the front. We have a couple Anastasia bronzers here. I think I'm gonna keep the shade Saddle. This shade right here is Saddle. I think I'm gonna get rid of Rich Amber. And it looks like it hasn't been touched, so I'm gonna donate Rich Amber. We have the Sweetie Pie from Too Faced. I don't use this anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it. This is the You're Dragging Me Down bronzer from Wet n Wild. It's actually really good. I'm gonna keep this one. I have the Revlon Skin Lights bronzer. I need to give this a couple more tries before I develop my thoughts on it, so I'm gonna keep it. I like to keep my drugstore options open just so I have a lot of content around affordable items. This is the Urban Decay Naked Threesome palette. I'm gonna keep this. It's kind of hard with the blush and bronzer palettes. I want to kind of keep them in the middle. If I have enough of the multi palettes, I'll keep them in the middle. I'm gonna keep the Too Faced Heart bronzer. This is in Sweet Tea. This is really popular. I like this color a lot, but I do think I'm gonna get rid of the Diamond bronzer. This doesn't have a ton of pigment behind it. It is beautiful, but it's just not pigmented enough, so I'm gonna get rid of this. This is the Too Faced Sun Puppy bronzer. Really cute. Again, I haven't used it enough to really develop my feelings on it, so I wanna keep it, try it, and then I'll make my decision. I have 2 of these bronzers from L'Oreal. I think I'm only going to keep the Bronze Please La Terra one. I like this one a lot, so I'll hold on to this one. I have some more that I want to keep. This is Physicians Formula. I just haven't used it enough. This Senna bronzer is really, really good. It's kind of like a bronzer and a highlighter in one. I wish I had more like rows like this, but they just don't fit. I have the Too Faced Gingerbread. I really liked this. Another Laura Mercier bronzer. This one is in Soleil 1. I love Laura Mercier products, so I'm keeping this. This may not work long term, but for now. We have the Ofra and Samantha March bronzer. This is a really good one. And then I have one that I think I got from BOXYCHARM. This is from Pure. It's a palette, so I'll put this in the middle. I have the LA Girl Stick bronzer. It's a really, really good drugstore option. I've got the Kendall and Kylie, which I also really love. I like that it has my name on it. I have the Private Society Cosmetics. It's also really good. I really like my stick bronzers, you guys, so hopefully I can find like a better way to store them. Then I have this $1 one from Shop Miss A that I want to keep just in case I do another one of those tutorials. All right, you guys, so this video was getting really, really long as it is, so I decided I'm going to break it up into 2 parts. So next up is blush. Hopefully you guys like seeing like my favorite bronzers and my favorite products. So if you want to see blush, make sure you subscribe to my channel, give this video a like if you like the declutters, and it should be coming in the next couple of days. And then I'm really excited because we're going to tackle the highlighter drawer. So thank you guys so much for watching this declutter series, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.